record a podcast.
Is that good?
Yes, Rosa, we should record a podcast.
We're going to record a podcast.
Hello and welcome. Oh, hang on, sorry. There's a little cardigan in my mouth. Right, ready?
So, cue cheesy intro music.
Cheesy intro music? No, we're going to have exquisite and chic intro music. Hello and welcome to the Centre of the Universe podcast with me, Jayde Adams.
And me, Josh Eggleton.
This podcast has come about because Josh and I are from Bristol. We're pretty much certain of one fact, aren't we, Josh?
We are.
And that fact is that Bristol is the centre of the universe. And so on this podcast,
all roads lead to Bristol.
All roads lead to Bristol. It used to be Rome.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's fuck Rome. Now, I know you think you've got everything when it comes to culture, Italy. But there's this little place in the UK called Bristol, and it's coming up trumps when it comes to culture in so many different ways.
It is.
And so this first series is going to be us focusing on all of the amazing attributes that Bristol has. And then after this, and its huge success, we're going to be taking us on the road, going to other cities to prove that it's not as good as Bristol.
Exactly.
We're coming for you, Japan.
That's a good start.
Yeah,
I like that.
Josh and I are massive fans of Bristol.
Born and bred.
Born and bred. And specifically from where we're not just Bristol, because people say I'm from Bristol and they're north of the river, ain't they?
Do you get asked it a lot?
What?
Are you born and bred?
Yeah, I get born and bred is said to me quite a lot in my life.
They say I get that a lot as well. Are you so what? Bristol, born and bred? And I'm like,
do people think you're putting your accent on?
That's what I say. I said, well, can't you tell? And then they kind of like, oh, they're a bit nervous.
They always think I'm putting it on, and they're like, oh, so you really do sound like that, like it's fake. Another thing that really gets to me as well, Bristolians are pointed out in show business in so many different ways, and they're not Bristolians. For example, and God love her, she's a queen, but Josie Gibson is not from Bristol. She's not.
Is she from Yates?
She's from Yates.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's not. No.
But Josh and I are from South Bristol.
Definitely from Bristol.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. There's no we're not pretending that we're from Bristol. I'm from a place called Bedminster. Which has changed dramatically since I was a kid. We used to have curfews. Weren't allowed out on the park wall after 6 p.m.
Yeah, Victoria Park.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, murderers.
That's
But Bristol's gone through some huge changes, like Whitchurch, which is where you're from.
Whitchurch, that's where I'm from. Whitchurch, Stockwood, South Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
which
changes.
Is basically just over there.
Over there.
Yeah.
Right now we're in Josh's restaurant, The Pony in Chew Valley. Not technically Bristol.
It's got It's got a Bristol postcode.
Yeah, what's it? BS?
I tell you what, it's confusing, right? I picked up an Irishman on Friday.
Why?
From I picked up a guy called JP from Galway because he was coming to open fodder. So I picked him up from the airport, and then he was like, "So is this Bristol?" I was like, "No, this is Somerset. It's North Somerset because we were at the airport." And he said, "I thought Somerset was further away." No, we're definitely in Somerset. I said, "But it is a Bristol postcode, you know." Because Bristol's its own county, which used to be Avon.
Yeah.
Which Avon came and then it went. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, what I'm saying is...
Yeah, why did they do that? I never found... I remember
nobody knows.
I still put it in my address, though, because there's that... It leaves a gap, and the only thing that fits in that gap...
Is Avon.
Yeah.
But Avon was the newest county in the country. It lasted, I think I'm right. It lasted about 15, 20 years, and then they got rid of it again. So Bristol is now its own county, and I think that lots of cities exist in counties. I mean, I might be totally wrong about this. Let us know in the comments. But
I reckon if it's not right, Rosa's going to cut that out. But it sounds correct.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've established that, so that's maybe, Bristol it's like its own thing. It's not part of anything else. That's why it's the centre of the universe.
It's got its own identity.
Yeah.
It's got its own culture. It's incredibly multicultural as well. And we get to be in it. And we just feel like this needs to be something that is shared and told to people, and I think from voices of people that actually are from the city.
Yes.
So we're here on this podcast to prove to you all once and for all that Bristol is the centre of the universe.
Is this a myth? I'm not sure. The car park guy at the zoo.
Oh yeah. Well, who knows? Someone always. So we're gonna have to
We
explain.
can't debunk it because we don't actually know.
Well, that's the whole point of the myth.
Oh, right.
I don't.
Oh, right.
When we try, we can try and debunk a myth, but also I think it's important to talk about the myth and the folklore of Bristol.
Yeah.
So the story we're talking about is about Bristol Zoo, and
Which doesn't exist anymore.
No, thank God. Where have they put the animals?
They put them in the wild place in which is it the wild place in where the Mall is?
Great.
Cribs Causeway.
Beautiful.
I've never been.
I've never been.
No.
I don't need to see caged animals. It's not for me.
No, I'm not into caged animals.
The second one is that there used to be a car park next door to Bristol.
Bristol Zoo, the car park.
Yeah, and that car park was attended.
It had an attendant, one guy.
One guy who used to take the money for years.
For years.
10 years?
Long time. Yeah.
And the reason that he was there is because Bristol Zoo thought he was from the council.
Yep.
And the council thought
he was from
Bristol Zoo. And one day, this guy, well, he just upped and left.
Yeah, I think he retired.
Took his millions.
Yeah. So he was. So he didn't turn up, and the zoo rang the council and said, "Why is your car parking man not coming anymore?" And they said, "What car parking man?"
Mad.
So apparently he's had it off, but we don't know. Is it a true story? Where has it come from?
A wonderful thing about Bristol is that we are an incredibly cultured city with lots of things going on, which we'll get into. But also it is West Country and we've got accents. And so all of this stuff happens with this amazing dulcet noise that you can hear. So that guy on the car park would have probably definitely been a Bristolian.
100%.
100%. You wouldn't have got away with it otherwise.
I wonder if he's... I reckon he's got to be in like Argentina or something.
Yeah, he's gone somewhere.
Do you think he's changed his accent?
Yeah, like Kaiser Sose.
Yeah. Just in case someone's like...
Yeah, but if he'd have been a posh guy in a car park, people would have been like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
He'd have just been some like normal bloke, probably a bit older, no one really noticing him. And then he just one day upped and left with... It was lots of money, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was millions. I reckon it was quite a bit.
Yeah, good for him.
Well done. I think it's very entrepreneurial, personally.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So you've been at a brand new festival in Bristol. Tell us about that.
We
Josh.
have. We did a festival called... Now, I call it fodder, but apparently it's pronounced fodder.
Well, fodder is food, isn't it?
Well, so the inspiration... So I've been inspired by a few other food festivals around the world. Fodder, or fodder, means food in Old English. Not to be confused with fodder, ER on the end, which is animal feed.
Yeah.
What I also like about the name is apparently it means fuck in Portuguese. So, it works on multiple levels, because I love that word. I use it a lot.
Did you have lots of Portuguese coming up and going, why have you called you a festival? Fuck.
No.
My Portuguese accent's not amazing. Please don't write in.
So what is it? It's we've always been involved in food festivals in Bristol, but this one it's like an evolution. And I want this festival to be rooted in community, a representation of the supply chain that we work with in restaurants, so localism, local supply chain, and accessibility, and to help deliver on education, I suppose, or help with learning opportunities, and that comes in the form of workshops, a symposium, which is a posh word for a conference, I like to call it. So I still can't. So basically, I can't bring myself to say at the moment, because I can't bring myself to say fodder, and I'm struggling to bring myself to say symposium.
it's
So-
because they sound posh,
Yeah, I
posh,
know.
don't they?
But that is what it is.
Better word
and
than corporate. What was it? The other word that was symposium? No.
conference.
Conference, yeah. Conference sounds
Conference is
awful.
too corporate, isn't
It feels grey. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not. This
No,
was
it's not grey.
No.
And actually, so we did it. We launched Friday night. That was the sort of press launch. Saturday, we had a producers market on the quay of over like 30 or 40 producers, from gin makers and rum makers and cheese producers and charcuterie. The launch of the Pony Farm bus was there. So we had
Wow.
workshops for kids. We had pizza rolling. We had pasta rolling. We had all the plants on the bus for people to come and look at it. And then there was a sourdough workshop on the Saturday day. So that all went really, really well. And then Sunday was the symposium where we had panel talks of people coming across the country. So what's really important to me here is that the festival, it is not, we want people coming from outside of Bristol to come to this festival. Because why?
Bristol's the centre of the universe.
Exactly.
I'm just going to keep saying it.
Yeah, and we're going to expand on it, and we're going to represent our culture and our food and our arts and the amazing stuff that happens here within that festival, hopefully, as it expands. So I'm already getting carried away for next year. I'm like, I want a Bristol dal tent, I want a cheese tent, where people can just see the diverse culture that happens in this city.
Yeah.
So we had a guy from Cornish Sea Salt there who's really good, like on all the technicalities and the geeky stuff. He was like, I am a geek on this, and he was great. And myself as a chef, we had a food writer, and then we had Ash, who's a neuroscientist, who talked about the way salt works in the brain, which was great. He was like, this is how salt works in the brain. This is what incites communications. This is what happens to the brain when you have a hangover. This is what happens when you take recreational drugs.
Oh, it gave you real chat
Yeah,
then.
it's really good.
I don't know
It
what
was
recreational... I know nothing about recreational drugs, but I would have been informed, obviously.
Yeah, so no, it was good about how the body reacts and how the kidneys react. If you're drinking alcohol, at first you get a bit of a high because that's what it does. But then you start to get drowsy, and you start to, the alcohol makes you pee a lot, so you start getting rid of a lot of your liquid, so you're losing salt out of your body, and that's what incites a hangover. Similarly, the opposite, if you take MDMA, it makes you hold on to everything, and then you continue to think you're thirsty, and you end up
Drank too much
basically
water.
internally drowning yourself.
Oh, so interesting that he's...
So salt levels in your brain and your body help manage that.
Wow. Which is why it's really good to have a salty and sugary water in the morning of a hangover.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So if you've got a hangover, because we talked about this, so I was like, right, so tell me about the craze with electrolytes. Electrolytes, if people talk about electrolytes, you can get it in bottles of water and stuff like that. Do we need electrolytes? And they're like, well, if you eat a healthy, balanced diet, then probably not. But there are factors. So if you've got a stinking hangover, you're probably going to need some electrolytes. Okay, fair enough. If you've just walked over a mountain, you're probably going to need some electrolytes. If you're
and
exercising.
Electrolytes are like just salt.
Basically,
Salt and
it's
sugar.
just a fancy word for salt.
Okay.
Yeah, for getting it.
Could I just get like
into
a pack of Maldon sea salt and just like whack it in a bottle and it has the same effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Exactly.
But I
You
could
do a
just call it
teaspoon.
electrolytes and people
This
think
is
I'm
what
a
I say
doctor.
in the morning. You could do. I don't know. I've never mixed them all together, but this might work, and it could be good. So a little cocktail. Cornish sea salt and Maldon sea salt. Teaspoon. 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Really good olive oil, or maybe a shot of olive oil. A shot of lemon juice and a shot of cider vinegar. Give that a go.
Hangover cure.
Yeah.
Yeah, delicious.
That'd be great.
Right, I'll have one then, thanks.
We'll do it in a minute.
All right, wicked.
Do you want one for lunch?
Yes, I'd love one of those for lunch. Might be a bit hangover.
Have you hungover?
Yes.
Oh, well, there
I
you
had
go there. Oh, it's perfect. Right then. So I've stirred it already. It's got the salt, Cornish sea salt, lemon, olive oil, cider vinegar, a few pips, but they'll be good for you.
Josh's homemade rescue remedy for hangovers.
I mean, you could have it every day. Cheers.
You could. I reckon that's really good for you. Oh.
Are you sure?
It's kind of amazing and also shocking.
Ooh. I reckon that's good for you.
That's probably why the Spanish live so long, isn't it?
Basically,
Mediterranean diets.
Mediterranean diet there.
This is not a Mediterranean diet. Well, technically.
Well, it's not too bad.
Off we got
It's
here,
Playman's.
Josh. This is a Playman's.
Well, you know, we hit the ponies closed, and I was like, oh, I was just raided the fridges, really. So I got a bit, I've done well. Got Westcombe charcuterie, Westcombe dairy Caerphilly, tomatoes from the Pony Gut polytunnel. That's the last of the tomatoes for the season. Is it true that accents in the UK, they're quite prolific, aren't they, compared to potentially other languages?
What? As in?
The differences.
Yeah, town by town as well.
Mm.
You can like have two towns side by side, and one of them has a Liverpudlian accent, and the other one has a Manchester accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that's quite a.
I think there's quite a lot of length, but so similarly, what I was thinking is that a Somerset accent, and a Bristol accent, and a Gloucestershire accent, and a Cornish accent for that matter, are all different. But for somebody who hasn't got tuned into it that much, might not be able to hear it straight away.
No, everyone just thinks we sound the same. Well, you know about my accent, don't you? You know what people bang on at me about, and I'm here today to tell you, on the Centre of the Universe podcast, I am not the woman on the buses.
Oh yeah.
Lights here for Cheddar Gorge.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this shit. Sick of it.
On the Bristol Flyer, or all the it's all the buses.
She's called Fran and she's 63. Do I really sound 63? No. Look, we'll probably have her on the pod.
No, yeah, we'll get her on.
And we'll see how much we sound alike. We're going to have to do that.
I want to get Brian Still on as well.
Brian Still from, what is it?
Carpet.
Carpet, what is it? No.
The Carpet Warehouse.
The Carpet Warehouse guy, Brian Still. Come round, see the boys. Yeah. Bristol Carpet Factory.
That's it.
The Bristol Carpet Factory.
But our accent is a very specific thing, and yes, obviously, I am. People just think I sound exactly like Josie Gibson. They think I sound like any female West Country person. We're all the same, but we're not.
No.
Bristolian has it's not as farmer. I don't think.
No, it's not.
Sorry, what was that you said? No, it's not.
Hold on, I got to put my Bristol accent on. Well, to be honest, my granddad, he's passed away now, but he would be able to talk to me in Bristol language.
What?
Oh,
We got a language?
yeah, we've got a language.
Ibis.
Hey, that's it. What's we doing of?
What's we doing now? Ibis means how are you?
Yeah,
Ibis.
what's we doing of is what you're doing.
Gert Lush.
Yep. But and there was more. There was a lot more. But the weird thing was I struggled to replicate it, but I would also understand exactly what he was saying.
Of course you do. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Gert Lush sounds like very good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've got a very specific identity here. And words sound better, I think, in this accent. Like purple. I got a few others.
Have you got? Is that one of your favourites?
Yeah, I got more.
Yeah, go on then.
Trousers.
Trousers.
Fingered.
Yep.
Piano playing.
And what about? Hold on. Actually, that's the other thing. Actually, we've got words for. So the rest of the country, I think you pet a dog.
Pet a dog. Smooth
But
a cat.
We smooth a dog.
We smooth a dog.
Yeah.
We smooth.
it.
I've been smoothing the cat.
Yeah. Oh, and a poof.
And a poof. Poof, eh?
Poofé.
What you put
Is
feet
that
on?
a Bristol word?
What, poof, eh?
Yeah.
No, I think some gays might have a word about whether or not that's our word or not.
What's a pickled cucumber?
Pickled cucumber.
Gherkin.
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 Gherkin. Oh, well, the way I say it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, we don't
And,
sound like farmers at all.
Or Jasper.
Jasper?
Jasper.
Jasper?
It's a wasp.
Oh, yeah. Who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy who was the Jamaican guy who had a Bristolian accent, but he died recently? Was it Roy Hackett? He came over, didn't he? He's like an activist in Bristol. Jamaican Bristolian accents are some of the best. We'll drop a clip in right now of Roy Hackett talking.
Big crowd of white people standing out, and I thought they come to welcome me in their midst. No. You know what they did? They said they didn't want me there.
One day in early 1963, Roy Hackett, do you know what he was doing, Josh? He was walking around Broadmead when he saw a man crying. The man was outside the old Bristol omnibus company. He told Hackett that he was weeping because the company had told him that he could not get an interview for a job because he was black. Almost 60 years later, and despite all he's seen in his 92 years, Roy Hackett, who's no longer with us, R.I.P., it still sticks in his throat. It's not because he was a Jamaican or a foreign, but it's because he was black, and it was degrading. And so he was one of our earliest activists in this city, because this city has become pretty renowned for some activism, and is the reason I moved back here.
It is.
It was during lockdown. I wasn't considering buying a house, but I was told it was time to buy a house. I was at home considering where I would go.
At home in London.
I was at home in London thinking about buying a house. And then what happened during lockdown?
The statue.
Yeah. Of Edward Colston.
Yeah.
Being torn down.
I was there.
Were you there?
I cycled down on my bike.
Did you wear a hoodie?
No, I just watched it.
Did you get involved?
No.
Oh, I would have.
Well, no, it was already halfway down. It was kind of like happening.
Oh, okay.
I heard about it happening. I thought, I got to go see this. It's history in the making. So I just went.
What was the atmosphere like?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
All of the footage went across. Well, let's be honest. Bristol became global.
It was on world news.
For a moment during lockdown, became famous like Madonna.
Yeah. It was. People realised it was the centre of the universe, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're only just reminding you that back in 2020, it was the centre of the universe.
So this was part of your inspiration?
To come home, because I was like, I can live in a city that does stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once a year, I'd celebrate Edward Colston, because our school, we used to have 4 houses at Redcliffe, which were Frankham, Canning, Colston and Cartwright, and I'm sure they were all dickheads.
Yeah.
We know that Edward Colston was. But we used to have a Colston Day where we'd celebrate Edward Colston with a bun, with like a Colston bun.
Oh yeah, that is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Good riddance. And then I moved away from Bristol because I found it really difficult to get involved in the arty scene here. Back in the early 2000s, it was more difficult for people like me with this accent to even getting a name for myself. I had to move away to do it, and then once I did, I came back. And part of the reason is because I saw Bristol doing such incredible things that I thought I must be there.
And you came back and integrated. Well, you never left really. Your family's here, but you've kind of like. What, we met?
We met.
And you integrated with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I'm in. I am so pleased that I've been allowed to be in, because I tell you what, it wasn't as inclusive as this when I left.
Yeah,
but now it is. Well, it's because Bristol, that we have a really intense sense of who we are when you get here. It's this very we have our own stamp, and I think that when one of theirs does well, Bristol really likes to celebrate it. And I know when things have been going well for me, Bristol as a city is really proud. There was a guy at a gig once, he was like, you're one of ours and we're really happy and proud of you. And I was like,
nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've had some people be very proud of me, like in show business before, that I'm meant to be impressed by, but nothing was more important to me than making my city proud.
Yeah.
So that's why I came back, because I wanted to be a big fish in a small pond. London, you can get like sort of lost.
Yeah.
But I got to be back here and
There's
be
a big old pond.
Yeah, it was too big.
Yeah.
I get to be here, and if I want to be a bit famous, I just leave the door. if I want some privacy, I just stay home. It's nice. And Bristol's really, I don't know if you've had this as well with being on television yourself.
Yeah.
I find Bristol's not that intrusive either. I think they're really polite.
They're not.
They're nice.
It's nice, yeah.
Bristolians are like, so I had this guy, and this is the sort of attitude, you're like, I just want to say, I think you're brilliant, I want a picture, and then I'm going to go and leave you alone, because you're obviously out with your mum and dad, and I just needed to come over here and say it. And I was like, absolutely fine. But there's this
so polite, so nice,
so sweet, and I'm passionate.
Yeah.
Because politeness is fun, but it's much better when someone's like,
yeah, and honest.
Yeah. Super honest.
Well, it depends on what they're talking about, I suppose.
Yeah, obviously, if they come over and talk to me about things I don't want to talk about, fingering. You had a bit of fame happen quite young, didn't you? Because you were like you were a big deal. Still are a big deal, but big deals tend to leave their homes. Josh, why haven't you left anywhere?
I did from my catering career as a chef, I did leave to travel, to learn, was what the French call a stage. You work for free in restaurants, and I did that in New York.
I've watched The Bear.
California. Well, this is the funny thing about The Bear, is that I've not watched all of it because he was doing that work experience, right? Well, that was literally me. He went to the French Laundry in California and was with Thomas Keller. I did that 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Triggering for you.
Yeah, so, well, not triggering, but I was a bit like, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I feel like I'm watching a TV show. There was something I did. So I did do that, and was considering what to, one thing I knew for sure was that I wanted to open my own restaurant, open my own business from a young age, and that was it really, because I think I was brought up that way, working for yourself. I mean, my parents have worked for themselves since they were in their late 20s, and I'd been working with them in their businesses since I was 11 years old. We used to finish school, get picked up, go to Brislington Trading Estate and pack boxes, or I'd sell sports programs because they printed them at the Rovers ground, so I was and then I'd go work in the fish and chip shop. So I'd always had this like deep work ethic, and then I was like, right, I read all these cookery books about the French Laundry and about how to train to be a chef, and it was all kind of rooted in, or Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential. I was like, right, I've got to go there, and I've just been told that I need to. Well, these books said you need to go travel the world and knock on doors and learn, and learn how to cook. And it was before social media, and the email was there, but I was like, I'll just do that then.
So the book said, go and knock on doors.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I went to my auntie. I had an auntie who lived in New York. I went and slept on a sofa, and I started knocking on doors to work in kitchens. And 50% of them were like, fuck off. But the other 50% were like, yeah, why not? Fair play. And I didn't really think about it back then, but I was 18 years old.
Did you turn up in like chef whites?
Yeah. So once I went to this kitchen, and there's a famous restaurant called WD-50. It's closed now. It's really famous for being quite prolific in the molecular gastronomy. And I walked from Tribeca to the West Village or the East Village, I can't remember which side. And it took me quite a while. And I walked into the front of this restaurant. There's no one there because they only opened for lunch service, but the doors were open, and there's a really nice kitchen. And I was like looking around the kitchen. I was like, "This is really nice, isn't it?" And I was like, "Hello." And anyway, I walked downstairs, and there was a chef, a really big chef, and I was like, with long dreadlocks. And I was like, "Oh, of course." And he was boning out skate. I remember it to this day. And he looked round. He said, "All right, are you here for a stage?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Go get changed then." Great.
And that was it?
No. So I went and found the changing room, went and got changed. And I said, what should I do now? He said, go wait in the top of the restaurant for the sous chef to come. And I'm like, okay. So I'm stood there in the reception, by the bar. And this other guy comes in, and I'm like, hello, are you the sous chef? He's like, no, I'm here for a stage. And I was like, oh, so am I. Nice to meet you. Whatever. He doesn't get changed. And then this other guy comes in, and he is the sous chef, and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm here for a stage. And he looks at the other guy and he says, you were here for a stage yesterday. Why aren't you fucking changed? So that guy ran off to get changed. And then he had a clipboard. He got his clipboard out and said, what's your name? And I'm like, thinking, well, I know I'm not on that fucking clipboard. so he's like, I told him my name. I said, but I'm not on that clipboard. He said, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I've travelled from Bristol, and I heard about this restaurant. I walked here and I met the chef, and he just said, get changed. He was like, yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I've just come from Bristol, like it is the centre of the universe.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
So I was like, and he was like, well, you're not on the list. You can't do a stage. And I'm like, well, trying to negotiate, always trying to negotiate. I'm here now. How about I just spend the night, or I'll come back tomorrow. He's like, it's a 6-month wait list to do a stage here. He's like, you've got to leave. And I'm like, look, I'm here now. Surely you can let me stay for a couple of hours. He's like, no, get out. So that was that.
Did you ever get to go back there?
No, we didn't go back there. No. I went on to the next restaurant.
Just go.
Well, I walked out in my chef ways. Put my bag. I was like, oh.
And you just went. You just knew. You just go from restaurant to restaurant until
yeah,
someone took
and
you
I went to Nobu and I actually, so no, I'm telling all the negative stories, but I worked in Chanterelle. That was fantastic. I got the book upstairs. I worked in Boulay, which is now closed. David Boulay passed away a couple of years ago. He had a restaurant called the Danube, and they all won like 2 Michelin stars each. I worked in the bakery on the ground floor through the basement, so I started work at 12 at night. I worked all the way until 4 o'clock the next day, making all these breads and all these patisseries. It was amazing. And then my auntie, at the end of her road or a couple of streets away, there was a Nobu, and it's, I'm talking like 25 years ago. Nobu was like, and every day I walk into Nobu and ask to speak to the chef, and the maitre d' would be like, no. And on like day 7, he was like, if you come in here again, I'm going to call the police. Because I'd read these books, it said, you just got to keep going back.
So, I just love it. You've like the Terminator. Just like walking down the street to do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like a scene out of a film.
In New York City. And then when I tell people now, they're like, it's fucking mental.
It is mental, especially because you're from like Whitchurch. Yeah. And you're like walking around in New York with all these like you have no sense of. It's amazing to have no sense of like I shouldn't be here because you'd read it in Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential.
Yeah, and I was like, and these other books I've been reading, and it takes me ages to read because I'm a shit reader. Like it was a book called How to Be a Chef, and it's like, I was just soaked it up. I was like, well, that's what
I'll do then.
That's what I do here, because you're not googling it, because you haven't got any of that. So that's what I do. But it was a good experience.
There's I work obviously another. It's probably quite strange for people to think, why are these two doing a podcast together?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm not just a comedian and an actor. I worked in hospitality for 17 years. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was in hospitality how I was told to become a comedian. So I'm like slicing a box of limes. I did this every day for 3 years, just limes every morning because we used the fresh lime juice for the cocktails.
Yep.
And my boss, obviously I was doing a bit of this and a bit of that, and I had no real focus. I wasn't really doing comedy, but I knew I wanted to be on stage. I'd done a bit of contemporary dance. But
you wanted to do performing arts?
I wanted to be on stage with people watching
Yep.
me. I knew that that's what I wanted or I needed to do at this point. I've had since discovered that potentially maybe I want to do some other stuff as well now. And I was a bit unfocused, and my boss at the restaurant said to me, well, what do you like doing? And I said, I like making people laugh. And then she said, well, from now on, if anyone asks you what you do, don't say you're a waitress, say you're a comedian. And so for basically 2 years, without doing any comedy, I just told people I was a comedian, and I just started getting booked.
Yeah. Oh, really? What, from the customers?
I think it's the same thing. If you just do something, I think that might be a working class Bristolian thing, which is if you just say it, someone somewhere will believe you. I think people worry too much about needing to have this thing behind you and this thing behind you, but you know what, a bit of tenacity.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like taking over this pub in 2006. I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
But really, the reality situation is I had no fucking clue what I was doing. So, but I had my sister, and me and Holly were here, and I had my parents who run businesses before, and it was like, but you think back, like, my parents were in hospitality.
How old were you in 2006?
22.
Nuts. Josh, that's mental.
And it's like, right, we're going to open up, and we just didn't really think about it, and you just go.
So you were going door to door in New York.
Yeah, and I went to California. I started in French Laundry, and then my next plan is I'm going to go to France and Italy, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm thinking, well, I don't really know anyone out there, so I'll just have to figure that out. But but in the meantime, the pony came up. And it came up for a lease, and so I decided to come back and do that.
Had you been here before?
Yeah, I grew up cycling out here. Well, I'm from Whitchurch, so we used to cycle over the hill. I went to Chew Valley School. It's a friend over the road, so I knew the pub.
But you'd been to so many places that some people would consider the centre of the universe, like New York and places in California, and going to these incredible places like Italy and France, and still you came back here.
Yeah, I agree. And like the French Laundry, I think, was a big influence on me. It wasn't there that long, but I do remember finding the cookery book in Borders up on the Triangle.
Yeah, I remember it.
I used to go to the Triangle on a Monday on my day off. I used to work like Wednesday to Sunday, full time in the restaurants. And if or a couple, I'd be like, if I had a spare shift, I'd go work in another one somewhere in Bristol just to help out. Be like, I'll come and help, just to learn. Tuesday I used to go to college or night school, so I did the MVQs, but I also then did a management course because I want to run my own place, so I'll do management course. So I did this hotel management course on Tuesdays. It was quite laborious. And then Mondays I go to Borders and sit in there for hours reading cookery books to learn. And then I found a French laundry cookery book, and I was literally like, what the fuck is this? It is mental. It's amazing. So, you know, so really, I was like, I want to go there. I want to learn about it. But then everything I learn, I want to bring it back and do it here. I want to do it, not necessarily here in the Pony. This is what we found, and actually, fucking hell, we were very lucky. You know,
I mean,
I mean, look at that. The first 2 years, I didn't notice that.
What?
The view. No, because I was in the kitchen. Working my ass off, remember? With Dad going, you're fucking nuts. I was in there 18 hours a day, and then I think I came out 2 years later having a roll up, and I stood on the patio, and and the sun was going down, and these customers went, I think that's the best view in pub view anywhere and in the country. And I looked up and I went, yeah, fucking hell, I fucking never noticed that. You know, it's all about just do up this rundown pub, put good food on the plate, and then, you know, it was almost like I didn't really see the potential. We didn't. We said, we'll do it for 2 years and we'll see what happens.
It's important to you that you're leaving, you know, like, well, not leaving, but it's important to you that, it sounds like it's important to you that Bristol has amazing things happening inside of it.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And then once you start to do it, and once you start to discover more stuff, and you're like, hold on, there's loads of really good stuff here. Like, there's loads of good stuff. I'll give you an example, and this is not about Bristol, but it's about somewhere else that's quite close to our hearts, and yours as well, I think. So, Pembrokeshire, right? Pembrokeshire's not far. It's amazing. It's like Cornwall. It's beautiful. And we've got friends there. We spent summers going there. And the friends of ours are opening a cafe, and they're like, there's nothing here, there's no suppliers, what are we going to do? You need to help us. And I said, look, it will be there. You just need to look, right? You just need to scratch below the surface, and before you know it, you'll start to find some fucking amazing stuff for produce to put in your cafe. And I think that's what happened here in Bristol, and it's literally starts to snowball, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better all the time. And then other people are looking at it going, fucking hell, we need to get involved in that. We need to get down there. Like you did.
Yeah.
But you were already part of it. But, you know, you had that reaction.
But I hadn't been here since I was 18 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know Bristol as well as you do.
No.
There are people that aren't from Bristol and they know Bristol better than me. I'm here willing and open and learning about this incredible scene that's happened whilst I've been away.
Yeah.
And it was so different than when I was growing up. There was nothing here, but the people like you seeing potential in this city has been the reason why it's flourishing as much as it is, and it's only going to get better. You know, the more passionate, creative people come and come. They're coming here because they want to.
They want to be here. They want to be part of it.
Yeah, they want to be part of.
Why would you not?
Yeah, why? Why not? So that is why we want to do this podcast, because there is so much to discuss. There's so much to experience here, from the restaurants that are popping up all the time, from
and the food community projects,
theatre, the film industry here, all the activism that is happening.
Yeah.
This is why we think Bristol is the centre of the universe, and we're here to prove it to everyone that you may
Absolutely.
think you live somewhere cool, but babe, you ain't got shit on us.
Yeah. And where are you going to go for that top snack?
Top snacks.
Top snacks.
I feel like I want to say something dead obvious, but can I just say something really obvious?
Yeah, go on.
It's only obvious to us because we're here, but if you had Saturday bread at Hart's Bakery yet? Let me tell you about this bread.
No,
right?
I don't know about that.
Oh my God, Josh.
I don't get to bakeries on a Saturday.
You can't even get it. It's only served between like 9:13 to 9:27.
Because
And you
it's
got
gone.
to get there on a Saturday because it's just gone and it's not out. I sometimes I'm there. I'm like, it's 8 a.m. and I'm here, and they're like, we haven't got any yet. It's not coming till 10. I get there at 10. It's 3 minutes past 10 and it's gone. It's basically a steamed. It feels steamed. Steamed puddingy bread sponge with toffee going through it, and it is
sweet.
It's so sweet, but it is so delicious. And you can only get it for like 7.5 minutes on a.
Why don't they make more? They're driving demand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Hart's Bakery like to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They giveth and taketh away. But that's underneath Bristol Temple Mead, so you can go there immediately as you arrive in Bristol. It's right underneath the train station.
true.
But that Saturday bread is pretty fucking amazing. If you like sweet stuff, it's
You
really
got to walk
sweet.
in from the train station a bit. Don't judge your surroundings. We're working on that. Don't judge the train station.
No, our train
surroundings.
station could be better.
It's being done. It's
Is
being
it?
done. Yeah, it's on the cards.
What are they adding?
Well, the whole entrance is going to change. The entrance is going to be on the side now, and then where the ramp is, that's going to become like a street of shops. So it's just, to animate it or make it a bit better. What's my snack? Everyone should try this. I'll test this on you. Steamed pudding.
Steamed
Suet pudding. What do you think it is?
suet pudding is with suet's that old fashioned shit that you get in like war food.
Yeah, good.
Like is it lard?
No, suet is the kidney fat. The suet is what the kidneys sit in, and it's quite dry. And you grate it, and you can make pastry with it. So a suet pudding can either be, generally you call it a suet pudding, it's savoury. If you call it a steamed pudding, it's sweet. So steamed treacle sponge.
With
The fat would be suet. You grate the suet in. It might be a combination of suet and butter. But you can get steamed suet puddings which are pies, which have got meat in the middle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to this end, we've been doing it at the Kenny, and we're doing these small steamed suet puddings, right? And we fill it full of ox cheeks braised in grapes, and then we glaze it with Guinness gravy. Right? Now we've got it on for a tenner, just because I want people to go to the Kenny and enjoy it. On a Friday, we've got 20 made, and if you turn up, you get a steamed pudding and a pint of Guinness for free. And you can sit, or you can have two halves. This is what I'd like to do. We should go and do this on the bar. One pudding, two halves of Guinness,
Lovely.
and it can be a banging bar snack that you just share. Rich, indulgent, have your Guinness, or you can have the whole one with some sides, and you've got a lovely dinner. It's delicious.
Oh,
Soft, unctuous pastry.
I'm gonna need a bit of that in my life. That sounds delicious, Josh.
Now,
All
I don't normally talk about our own stuff like that, but it's good.
Well, let's go. Should we go there?
Yeah.
All right. Another reason why Bristol's the centre of the universe.
Free Guinness on a Friday.
Free Guinness on a Friday. Where else are you doing that? Nowhere. Well, that's it. The first episode.
I feel good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will go all sorts of places.
It'd be amazing.
I can't wait to start proving in other cities that Bristol's better than it.
That's going to be the fun bit. We might get surprised now and again, but if we do, we'll just say, well, we'll have that.
Yeah. If we ain't got it, we'll nick it.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the road making it better.